All right, tonight we are going full-on celestial detective. Our target? The constellation Delphinus. Now, this is a tiny little patch of sky that most people just skip right over, but it is absolutely jam-packed with secrets. We're talking about everything from a 200-year-old practical joke to the literal ghost of a long-dead galaxy. Okay, let's dive. When you look up at the summer sky, your eyes probably get drawn to the big guys, like the huge wings of Cygnus the Swan or the Great Square of Pegasus. But tucked right in there, there's this tiny, perfect little dolphin just leaping through the Milky Way. And it makes you wonder, right? What kind of secrets could possibly be hiding in one of the smallest constellations on the entire map? And let me tell you, Delphinus is a total underdog. Out of all 88 official constellations, it's way down at number 69 in size. But you know what they say about underdogs, right? They're usually the most interesting. What it lacks in size, it totally makes up for with its shape. It's this tight little diamond of stars, sometimes called Job's Coffin, with a faint little tail. Once you see it, you'll never mistake it for anything else. And just to put a number on it, we're talking about a mere 189 square degrees of sky. For comparison, the biggest constellation, Hydra, is about 250 times larger than that. So yeah, it's a tiny piece of celestial real estate, but as we're about to find out, it might just be the most fascinating property in the entire night sky. So our investigation starts with the first, and honestly my favorite clue, a prank. A really clever, subtle joke that was hidden in plain sight for almost 200 years. It's the story of an astronomer's assistant who decided to, well, write his own name in the stars. Okay, so get this. Back in 1814, a new star catalog comes out from Palermo, Italy, and suddenly, the two brightest stars in Delphinus have these weird new names, Sualocin and Rotanev. They sounded kind of ancient, but nobody, and I mean nobody, could figure out where they came from. The answer was right there the whole time. Just read them backward. Sualocin becomes Nicolaus, Rotanev becomes Venator. That's the Latin version of Niccolò Cacciatore, who was the assistant to the director of the observatory. The guy literally snuck his own name into the official star charts, and the joke was so good that we still use those names today. Incredible. All right, so with that prank solved, it's time to zoom in. We're moving from historical clues to the actual physical evidence. Let's point a telescope at Delphinus and see what other secrets we can shake loose. First, a real quick primer on a key piece of evidence, a binary star. Now, this isn't just two stars that look close together from here on Earth. No, this is a real cosmic partnership. Two suns, physically locked together by gravity, dancing around each other for millions or even billions of years. And Delphinus has one of the absolute best examples you can see. And here it is. Meet Gamma Delphini. Even a small backyard telescope will split this one point of light into two. And when it does, wow, you see this incredible color contrast. There's a main star that shines like molten gold right next to its smaller partner, which glows with this beautiful pale sea green light. And the key thing is, they're a true pair, slowly circling each other once every 3,200 years. It really is a jewel of the night sky. Okay, next up we have an exhibit that proves the night sky is anything but static. This is the wild story of Rho Aquilae. This star actually used to belong to the constellation next door, Aquila the Eagle. But see, stars aren't just fixed points of light, they're all zipping through space at insane speeds. And because of its own motion across the sky, this star literally drifted across the official constellation border and became a part of Delphinus back in 1992. It's a stellar immigrant, a perfect reminder that the star map is always very slowly being redrawn. Now we're going to go even deeper. We're looking for evidence that's billions of years old. We're talking about the coldest of cold cases, examining ancient relics that tell the story of our own galaxy's violent childhood. And to do that, you need to know about our next target, a globular cluster. Just imagine this giant spherical city of stars, packed with hundreds of thousands of ancient suns, all born together way back at the beginning of the universe. These things are basically cosmic fossils, orbiting way out in the suburbs of our galaxy. Now, Delphinus has two of these ancient cities, and this chart really shows you how different they are. NGC 6934 is a good 50,000 light-years away, pretty far. But then there's NGC 7006. It's way, way out there, more than 135,000 light-years away, making it one of the most remote globulars in the entire Milky Way. Its crazy distance has led astronomers to a really cool theory. What if it's not from our galaxy at all? It could be the leftover core of a small dwarf galaxy that the Milky Way collided with and, well, ate billions of years ago. We could be looking at the ghost of a dead galaxy, a victim of galactic cannibalism. But this constellation isn't just full of old history. It's also the scene of some pretty recent violent crimes, and the weapon of choice is called a nova. Here's what happens. You've got a dead, super dense star called a white dwarf orbiting a normal star. It acts like a cosmic vampire, siphoning material from its partner. When enough of that material builds up on its surface, kaboom, a massive thermonuclear explosion that makes the star flare up to thousands of times its normal brightness. And as you can see here, Delphinus is kind of a hot spot for these things. Back in 1967, a star called HR Delphini just erupted, and it stayed bright enough to see without a telescope for months. Then it happened again in 2013. Another one, V339 Delphini, went off, and it became one of the brightest novae we've seen this century. It's just proof that this tiny, quiet-looking patch of sky is actually a really dynamic and explosive place. So, we've got the evidence. We have a prank, a wandering star, a galactic ghost, and stellar explosions. But to really get Delphinus, we need to understand the motive. Why a dolphin? Why did the ancient Greeks look up at these particular stars and see this creature? For that answer, we've got to turn to the myths. Okay, so the first story basically casts the dolphin as this master negotiator. Poseidon, the god of the sea, falls for this beautiful sea nymph, Amphitrite, but she's freaked out by him and runs away to hide at the edge of the ocean. Poseidon sends out all his servants, but nobody can find her. Finally, a single dolphin tracks her down, but instead of forcing her to come back, the dolphin just talks to her. It tells her how much Poseidon loves her and convinces her to come back and marry him. For this amazing act of diplomacy, Poseidon puts the dolphin up in the stars forever as a symbol of faithful service. The second legend is all about the power of music. Arion, the greatest musician of his time, is sailing home with a bunch of treasure he won. The sailors on the ship get greedy and decide they're going to kill him and take his gold. His one last request is to sing one final song. So he stands on the deck and plays his lyre so beautifully that he charms the creatures of the sea, and a whole pod of dolphins gathers around the ship. Arion jumps overboard to escape, and one of the dolphins swoops in, lets him climb on its back, and carries him safely all the way to shore. In this version, it's the god Apollo who puts the dolphin in the sky, to honor a creature that saved a life because of its love for art. You know, after digging through all this evidence, the history, the science, the mythology, we land on a pretty powerful conclusion. When you're talking about the cosmos, size is absolutely no measure of significance. I mean, just stop and think about everything that's packed into this one tiny constellation. A 200-year-old inside joke, a stunning double star, a star that literally changed its address, the ghostly heart of a galaxy that was eaten by our own, and these powerful, timeless legends of diplomacy and salvation. All of that is hiding in one of the smallest corners of our night sky. So the next time you're outside looking up, don't just search for the big, obvious patterns. See if you can find that little diamond of stars, that celestial dolphin, and remember all the secrets that it's keeping. And it really leaves you with this final amazing question. If this much wonder is hidden in one tiny constellation, what else is waiting to be discovered in the rest of that vast cosmic ocean?